from Hollywood. The toast of the Colgate town. Starring Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. And now, your announcer, yours truly, our tennis, Grocken, Rockin', Droffin', People Bleeding, and according Dougal. And ladies and gentlemen, now it gives me great pleasure in presenting that beloved newspaper man, the famous columnist of the Hoboken News, your host for the toast of the Colgate town, Ed Sullivan.
Thank you, and welcome to the toast of the Colgate town. Before starting the show tonight, we have some very fine celebrities here in the audience we'd like to introduce right here on this here stage. Seated right here to my right is a really towering giant in the motion picture industry. Real fine performer and a great man, personal friend. I'd like to have him stand up and take a bow right here in this theater here tonight, in this here audience here tonight. Take a bow, Cary Grant. Cary, stand up and take a bow there. Cary Grant.
Eddie, very nice to be here, Eddie. Do you mind very much if I say hello to my wife?
Go right ahead.
Oh, Judy. Why do I keep saying Judy? Her name's Bruce.
Thank you, Cary. Big Grant. Really big star, and on our audience tonight, very, very famous man. Many of you may have heard of and read it about him and wrote it about him. In Time magazine, really, really big man. Colonel Arthur Wyatt, atomic bomb scientist who only last week ignited the really big bomb from Las Vegas. Colonel Wyatt, will you stand up and take a bow, please? Colonel Wyatt. We'd like to explain about the Colonel, if we may. You see, last week in Las Vegas, the Colonel walked up 500 feet to the towering tower and was about to ignite the atomic bomb, and it went off in his hand. Broke his glasses. We'd like to introduce, seated out there tonight, really... How does he talk with all of them? Anyhow, really big star, seated in our audience tonight, one of the great brothers, Marx himself, Groucho Marx.
After 4 days in the water and 3 in the boat, we finally got here. And now, welcome to the Adam and Eve show, You Bet Your Leaf.
Thank you, Groucho Marx. We have in the audience tonight a wee bit of a surprise for you folks. Where you sitting, boy? There he is, ladies and gentlemen. I can't seem to see him, but we'd like a real hand for a great star, really huge, immense performer who you've heard many times. It's Mario Lanza right here. Would you please, a big hand for Mario Lanza. Sorry, folks, he didn't show up here either. We'd like to go straight ahead and introduce some of the fine people who we have the good fortune of having here in our toast to the Colgate town. Really really big star. One of the really big stars from 20,000 large leagues under the big sea. The star of 20,000 leagues under that sea, Kirk Douglas. Stand up and take a bow, Kirk, if you will. Good to see you, Kirk. Happy seaweed. In our audience tonight, one of the performers I know is enjoying meeting a real king. Seated in the back of the audience, we have the king of them all, Clark. Stand up and take a bow, Gable.
How are you, son? It's nice being here, old buddy. Scarlett couldn't make it. She's home burning down the house.
Thank you. Thank you, Clark Gable. I see in our audience tonight a real treat for you folks at home watching our show. Two big stars, great zany comedian, wonderful performer, splendid exhibitionists. I introduce to you those crazy kids, Martin and Lewis, right here. That little one's a cutie, isn't he? And now, before introducing our show, we'd like to remind you that next week, on Toast of the Colgate Town, we're happy to announce direct from the Antarctic Circle on this stage, 45,000 penguins smoking cool. On this stage here, next week, right here, on this here stage, next week, here, right here, on this stage. I see in our audience tonight a real sporting champion, real big champ, towering, stupendous, monstrous, gigantic, big, huge, big champion, big bantam Ben Hogan, a big champ bow, a big bow. We'd like to ask real big bantam Ben to come up here and hit a golf ball right from this stage, here on toast to the Colgate town, Bantam Ben will hit a golf ball off the nose of any volunteer. Right here. Really Big Ben. This is a real Big Ben. Champion, who will come up and have this done? We'll get someone, Benny boy. How about it? Someone in the audience, come up. Let's snap into it. How about someone in the audience? We'll get someone, Benny boy. Here we go. We've got to get on with the show. Thank you. All right, yours truly, Ed Sullivan. We'll do it. Don't forget about next week, the Penguin. Sorry, it's the teeth, you know.
There you are, and here's the show.
We've rehearsed and rehearsed till we're blue in the face. We just can't wait to look you in the face. We are almost about to explode. You'll never know how great it feels. We paid our dues to equity, the union and the guild. Everyone is happy with the way they're being held. We hope you'll help us get those auditoriums filled.